Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The cognitive process of acquiring skill or knowledge. Profound scholarly knowledge. An ability that has been acquired by training. The cognitive process of acquiring skill or knowledge. The child's acquisition of language. Something acquired. A recent acquisition by the museum. The act of contracting or assuming or acquiring possession of something. The acquisition of wealth. Profound scholarly knowledge. 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 Financial aid provided to a student on the basis of academic merit. Cognitive processes involved in obtaining and storing knowledge. The United States federal department that administers all federal programs dealing with education, including federal aid to educational institutions and students, created 1979. The result of good upbringing, especially knowledge of correct social behavior. The activities of educating or instructing. Activities that impart knowledge or skill. He received no formal education. Knowledge acquired by learning and instruction. It was clear that he had a very broad education. The gradual process of acquiring knowledge. Education as a preparation for life. The profession of teaching, especially at a school or college or university. A learning process in which an organism's behavior becomes dependent on the occurrence of a stimulus in its environment. Learning that takes place as a normal part of cognitive development. Learning and coming to understand ideas and information. His appetite for facts was better than his digestion. The organic process by which food is converted into substances that can be absorbed into the body. The process of decomposing organic matter, as in sewage, by bacteria or by chemical action or heat. A learning process in early life whereby species-specific patterns of behavior are established. Learning, of values or attitudes etc., that is incorporated within yourself. Consolidating two or more things, union in, or into, one body. Including by incorporating. Learning, of values or attitudes etc., that is incorporated within yourself. Learning, of values or attitudes etc., that is incorporated within yourself. Learning to use a language. Learning so as to be able to remember verbatim. Learning so as to be able to remember verbatim. The actor's memorization of his lines. A branch of knowledge. Anthropology is the study of human beings. Give careful consideration to. Applying the mind to learning and understanding a subject, especially by reading. No schools offer graduate study in interior design. Attentive consideration and meditation. Preliminary drawing for later elaboration. Think intently and at length, as for spiritual purposes. He is meditating in his study. Learn by reading books. He is studying geology in his room. A detailed critical inspection. A written document describing the findings of some individual or group. This accords with the recent study by Hill and Dale. Be a student of a certain subject. Consider in detail and subject to an analysis in order to discover essential features or meaning. A composition intended to develop one aspect of the performer's technique. A study in spiccato bowing. A room used for reading and writing and studying. He knocked lightly on the closed door of the study. A state of deep mental absorption. She is in a deep study. Be a student. Follow a course of study. Be enrolled at an institute of learning. Someone who memorizes quickly and easily, as the lines for a part in a play. He is a quick study. Transfer from one place or period to another. Transfer somebody to a different position or location of work. The act of moving something from one location to another. Application of a skill learned in one situation to a different but similar situation. Move around. Transfer the packet from his trouser pockets to a pocket in his jacket. Transferring ownership. Change from one vehicle or transportation line to another. The act of transferring something from one form to another. The transfer of the music from record to tape suppressed much of the background noise. Someone who transfers or is transferred from one position to another. The best student was a transfer from LSU. Send from one person or place to another. Lift and reset in another soil or situation. Shift the position or location of, as for business, legal, educational, or military purposes. A ticket that allows a passenger to change conveyances. Cause to change ownership. I transferred my stock holdings to my children. Move from one place to another. Transfer the data. Application of a skill learned in one situation to a different but similar situation. Make uniform. Work the clay until it is soft. Perform as expected when applied. This old radio doesn't work anymore. Be employed. Is your husband working again? Applying the mind to learning and understanding a subject, especially by reading. Mastering a second language requires a lot of work. Have and exert influence or effect. The artist's work influenced the young painter. Make something, usually for a specific function. Cause to happen or to occur as a consequence. I cannot work a miracle. The occupation for which you are paid. A lot of people are out of work. Cause to work. He is working his servants hard. Find the solution to a problem or question, or understand the meaning of. This unpleasant situation isn't going to work itself out. A product produced or accomplished through the effort or activity or agency of a person or thing. It is not regarded as one of his more memorable works. Have an effect or outcome, often the one desired or expected. The voting process doesn't work as well as people thought. Use or manipulate to one's advantage. She knows how to work the system. Proceed along a path. Work one's way through the crowd. Prepare for crops. Shape, form, or improve a material. Work stone into tools. A place where work is done. He arrived at work early today. 'cause to undergo fermentation. The vintner worked the wine in big oak vats. The total output of a writer or artist, or a substantial part of it. Picasso's work can be divided into periods. Give a workout to. My personal trainer works me hard. Go sour or spoil. The wine worked. Activity directed toward making or doing something. She checked several points needing further work. Arrive at a certain condition through repeated motion. The stitches of the hem worked loose after she wore the skirt many times. Behave in a certain way when handled. This dough does not work easily. 'Cause to operate or function. This pilot works the controls. Exert oneself by doing mental or physical work for a purpose or out of necessity. I will work hard to improve my grades. Gratify and charm, usually in order to influence. The political candidate worked the crowds. Move in an agitated manner. His fingers worked with tension. Move into or onto. Work the raisins into the dough. Operate in a certain place, area, or specialty. She works the nightclubs. Operate in or through. Physics. A manifestation of energy. The transfer of energy from one physical system to another expressed as the product of a force and the distance through which it moves a body in the direction of that force. Work equals force times distance. Proceed towards a goal or along a path or through an activity. Work your way through every problem or task. Provoke or excite. The rock musician worked the crowd of young girls into a frenzy. The accumulated and undivided profits of a corporation after provision has been made for dividends and reserves. Application of a skill learned in one situation to a different but similar situation. Learning so as to be able to remember verbatim. Scholarly attainment. He is a man of letters. The literary culture. This book shows American letters at its best.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.